All right, Parker. So we just beat Resident Evil Requiem. Well, technically a couple days ago, but are you surprised?
No, I should have grabbed my deluxe copy.
Oh, you look like you saw
So I can,
Mr.
like, be
X. You were like, so we just beat Resident Evil Requiem. We're recording this on March 2nd, I believe. So me and you beat it the day after release, I believe on the 28th. We both loved the game. We've talked about it quite a bit, quite extensively. But I wanted to get into full-on spoilers because this game has so much in it, so much going for it. Longtime Resident Evil fans are eating this up right now in terms of the lore, in terms of things that happen. And I wanted us to be able to talk about everything that happens in this game. You know, there's a lot of spoilers out there, so we're going to warn you right away if you're tuning into this video. Do not watch if you have not beat Resident Evil Requiem yet. Do not watch if you are trying to avoid... Yeah, if you're trying to avoid any sort of spoilers, we're going into everything. That includes side stuff, that includes like extra puzzles, like there's the final puzzle that a lot of people have been solving right now. We're going to go into everything. So if you don't want any spoilers, please click away now. If you have beat Resident Evil Requiem, stick around and enjoy this conversation, and please comment, let us know your thoughts and feelings about the game and where the direction they chose. But without further ado, Parker, let's get into everything about Resident Evil Requiem. I'm going to give you my initial top-level thoughts. We've talked about it extensively already, but this game was an absolute joy
right
for me.
After we beat it.
Right after we beat it, yeah, we called each other and
oh.
let's talk about that right now. Before we go from, we're gonna go from kind of the beginning to the end of the game, but I want to jump right to the end right away. Last spoiler warning you got here, but you beat the. So I beat the game first. I called you to tell you that there's a significant thing that you should probably try to do.
Oh yeah.
Regarding a decision. As everyone knows that has beat the game now, there's a decision you make where you either release Elpis or destroy Elpis. And it's a huge decision. Not actually, we found out in the grand scheme of things, because if you choose the destroy Elpis, obviously you can go back and redo your decision if you want.
Well, did you see too that apparently if you clicked the other one, like destroy, the guy is, or Spencer or whatever, says something? Did I tell you that?
No.
Like he says, he regrets what he did and stuff. So it kind of gives you more reason to not do that.
I haven't seen, if you go back, so I know at the end of the credits it'll be like, would you like to go back and before the decision? Yeah. What happens if you seen exactly what happens?
Yeah, so when you click destroy, you know how when you click release, it says like this thing about hope. He's like,
yeah, which I love.
Spencer's like, she is my hope or something. And then when you click destroy though, Spencer says he's like plagued by guilt and stuff and wants to make amends. Like he is basically saying that. So yeah, it kind of gives you an idea. I have seen more like where it's a more obvious choice than people think it is.
It is if you're paying attention. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where,
if you were paying attention, a lot of people would make the
we talked about it quite extensively, where it was one of those things, though, where, if you pay attention to the game, if you're aware and following, like, stuff in the cutscenes and files and stuff like that, it is pretty clear that Elpis is a good thing and that you should choose to release it, actually. But I can completely understand people that also choose destroy, because
that don't do that.
I mean, Leon is explicitly telling you most of the time, like, hey, you have to if anything happens to me, you have to promise me you destroy this, or you have to promise me, like,
and it's hard too,
let it go.
You want to listen to Leon.
Yeah, and so
Leon's been
it's one of those things where I can completely understand some people's trepidation and maybe choosing destroy. For myself, I hovered over the decision for like 5 minutes. I actually told you that because I didn't want to risk having something happen that would alter my game. Because for a second I thought, are they going like kind of Telltale style or kind of OG Resident Evil style, where like maybe someone could die and that's like legit what happens in your version of the game. And so I was worried about that. So I did do a quick Google. I hadn't Googled anything in this game, but I was just like, is there a good and bad ending to Resident Evil 9?
What's the good ending?
And it was like, yes, there's a good ending and a bad ending. And all I did was look to see which one was good and which one was bad. And the good one said release. And so I'm like, that's what I figured. I'm going to go with that. But I called you after I beat the game and I was like, okay, Parker, there's a decision. Make sure you choose maybe the opposite one of what you're thinking.
And you didn't say it either.
I didn't say what it was. Yeah.
You're like, Parker, choose the right.
Yeah, choose the right.
You didn't say that, but
yeah, I was like, choose it because it's the right option on the screen.
No, you were just like, be super careful.
Yeah.
when you get, because I was like near the end. I was fighting Hunk. Remember? And you had called me and you're like, I just beat it. Just be super careful in the next like hour or so and make sure you take your time with a decision or something.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, ultimately I know a lot of people would be like, who cares, it doesn't matter, you get sent back, you have the option to return to the choice anyway, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. Matter. But however, I personally think that there's a lot of people who would see the ending of the one where, spoilers, Leon gets shot in the face, just straight up killed by Xeno if you do the bad option of destroying Elpis. I think there's probably quite a few people who would have been very upset by what happened and not have
I put
realized.
Myself in that situation.
Yeah, and then maybe not have even realized that you could go back until, obviously it gives you the option at the end, but they might have been like, oh, I don't know, I don't care. Or like I said, there's probably people that turn off the game after the credits even, or tune out or whatever, and they're kind of done after that. And so I know it was like a fake out kind of ending. It was supposed to be like an extended death scene, I've heard a lot of people say. And so like I've softened on the choice to have the decision at the end. At first I was very like skeptical of it. I didn't think it was necessary. I know I've heard a lot of people talk about how a lot of the OG Resident Evils and stuff, did have some decisions in them that can lead to different outcomes. And specifically, we were talking about, with 7, with Biohazard, there's obviously the big decision between save Mia or save Zoe. And that one, though, felt a little more obvious, at least to me, where it was like, okay, obviously you're going to save your wife in this situation. Because that's what the entire game has been about. Basically. You're trying to save her. And so that made more sense rather than saving this random person who you barely knew. But this one is a little more gray, I would say, for at least the standard player.
For sure, because the fact that I sat on it. Like, Mia, I chose instantly.
Same.
That wasn't even a question for me. But, like, this one, I sat on it for 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I want to release it, but Leon says to destroy it. Yeah. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, exactly. That was the thing, is it's like, you want to...
But then as soon as I clicked it, I'm glad that you can click it and then it says like hold to confirm.
Like, are you sure? Yeah.
Because after you click it, he says something about hope, and so that's when I knew officially that it was the right answer. Because he said something about hope, and I'm like,
you're right.
They wouldn't say something about hope if it wasn't the right answer.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. And then I clicked confirm, like, hold it to confirm or whatever. But
yeah, and so
scary.
it was a interesting choice, I would say, for the end of the game to have the decision. Ultimately, I think it's fine now. I've softened on it.
I've grown on it a little bit.
Yeah, but like when it first happened, I was trying to warn you because I didn't know what the second bad ending was. I assumed it would have something to do with Leon either dying or something bad happening, obviously. I hadn't looked into it though after I beat the game because I was like, oh, thank goodness, I was so happy. I mean, me and you both, were really big Leon fans. I was worried Leon was going to die in this game, like most people were, and they really kind of heightened that up toward the end of this game.
For sure.
They set it up for sure. I mean, they were leaning into it. There was so many moments where
the whole RPD section was setting up Leon's death.
Yeah.
It was like a perfect, okay, he started here, he's ending here. Like,
exactly.
It honestly was a perfect time to kill Leon. I'm super happy they didn't, but it was a good time to do it if they were.
Yeah. Well, because you're right. It's the perfect story arc thing of like, this is where it all began and this is where it all ends, and they even have the moment we were talking about, one of my favorite moments in the game, which is when Leon goes back into Kendo's gun shop and has the flashback memory of Kendo and his daughter, which is like a heartbreaking scene. And you get this awesome emotional moment of Leon, getting on his knee and he's like, never again. And it was moments like that I'm like, okay, they're setting up here that he is going to do whatever he has to do to not let anything bad happen to anyone again. Whether that means saving Grace, whether that means saving whoever, he's going to do everything in his power, and it's going to ultimately end in his death, is what I was thinking they were setting up.
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen. Resident Evil is very, you know, it loves its legacy characters, and the legacy characters are so important to the franchise. I'm personally glad Leon didn't die, because now we can have him in the future again at some point. Maybe not anytime soon, but like,
look,
he's such a great character.
It's their biggest Resident Evil character.
Yeah.
It's smart money wise to keep him.
Yeah,
because
that is true.
It'll sell more games. Like if Leon is in Resident Evil 10, more people might buy it because they're like for example, Dad will definitely buy. He'll be like, Leon's in it. Okay, I'm buying it. I'm getting it. And I'm playing it.
Exactly. Yeah, but Leon's become like cult level status of just like people love him, you know, and I love him too. I mean, he's personally my favorite video game character, and so I'm happy to have him still around. You know, and with the fake out death scene at the end with the bad ending, we were talking about it, how it is very like, it's dark. It's a crazy, just like,
it's like
murder of him. Like,
it felt like it is.
It was like disrespectful.
If that was the real ending, it would be so disrespectful. I would have been so mad because I'm like, there's no way they just killed their legacy. They killed Resident Evil by shooting his head off. In such a dark way too, in the sense of like the game just ends after that. You know, we were talking about it where it's like, had they within 10 seconds.
had Leon had died at the end, saving Grace or going out in a heroic way, it maybe would have been different. And I think I would have been okay with that. It was the fact that it would have been him getting shot in the face and then immediately, like 10 seconds later, the game ending. Grace walking out and kind of going, I wish I could have saved you, Leon. And then that's it.
Too, is like
that would have been crazy.
I don't like it either because, like, to be honest, Grace really, like, other than the first 5 seconds of him getting shot, she didn't really show any emotion when she got to the top.
Yeah.
She was just kind of like, I wish I could have saved you. Like, oh no.
Which is another
like no.
Yeah, which is almost like another red flag of kind of showing that it was not the real ending. It's not real. Because it's like, Grace the entire game is a very emotional character. She shows a lot more emotion.
I mean, for Emily,
she
was like, for Emily, she was down on her knees for like 5 minutes. Yeah. You know, like crying because Emily was like dying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for Leon, she's just like, oh no, his head just got blown off. And then like, oh, she's fine. Like, no,
yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't be that way.
It would have felt a little out of character, and it would have felt a little out of character for Resident Evil had that been a true ending also, because for the most part, Resident Evil, the endings and ultimately is very hopeful, which is why I liked, you know, the whole message of hope at the end of this game with Spencer, which is actually really cool, because that's how Resident Evil is as a franchise. It's, they're very dark games and stuff like that, but ultimately it's like, they end hopeful.
That reminds me, an awesome thing that I didn't know until after. But you know what Elpis is in Greek mythology? Oh,
I heard about this. Yeah, remind me.
It's the goddess of hope.
Goddess of hope,
which is actually sick.
Which is
I'm
way
like, dang,
cool.
that's actually such a cool idea. Like, okay, Elpis is the goddess of hope, and that was the whole, you know, thing at the end. Like,
which is awesome. So
I'm what it was all for.
It's kind of surprising. I mean, I'm sure there was some sleuths out there who had figured that out before the game came out, but that is surprising that maybe more people didn't catch on, you know, with Elpis, meaning hope in Greek mythology. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, and what do you think of that twist? I mean, I guess you could say twist where, Elpis, the entire game is kind of being presented as this unknown kind of potential bioweapon, and that's why we have characters like Victor wanting it for his legacy of Spencer and Umbrella, and then we have Zeno wanting it, who is part of the Connections, which is a whole thing. Well, there's so much to talk about.
Zeno is basically wanting like the power of it, but he doesn't realize that it's not actually that way.
He doesn't actually.
So Victor does know though.
Well, Victor,
that's what I'm a little confused about. So he knows that it's an antiviral.
It's very confusing. There's a lot of stuff I've heard people talking about, and apparently there's still some moments that aren't completely understood, like plot holes, but they might be stuff that we'll figure out later or learn later. So it's not necessarily plot holes as much as it is like, and it could be just we learn
plot
about
holes are just they're just untold right now. Like,
but
I mean, there's so many Resident Evil games, it'll probably be brought up at some point. Like,
from what I understand, from what I've heard from videos I've watched and things like that, is that Zeno works for the Connections, which I don't know how familiar you are with the Connections, but it's like this other crime syndicate essentially that is trying to get bioweapons, trying to get all these things for bioterrorism purposes, and they ultimately want to be able to control people, like and that's the whole idea of, they think Elpis is going to be like this grand thing from Spencer, like is his last creation that will control humanity. And ultimately it isn't that. We learn that Spencer actually regretted what he had done with Umbrella and the T-virus and all this stuff, and wanted to make amends. And as Grace even says in the game, it's his atonement. Elpis is him trying to atone for his sins, which is a really cool idea. I
love those videos and stuff.
Oh, they were so good.
That was one of my favorite parts, is just watching that, because I don't know, I just love the way it sounds and looks.
And the music, we've talked about how good the music is in this. Like,
and he's just turned around and so just like, I don't know.
Yeah. And there's in those videos with Alyssa, I personally like the idea of Spencer at the end of his life regretting everything, essentially on his deathbed, and wanting to make amends. I know there's some people that have pointed out that it's kind of inconsistent with what Spencer has done in the past in other games and whatnot, which is fair. But I like the idea that it's like, somebody at the very end, it doesn't make them a good person. It doesn't make them forgiven for what they've done necessarily. But it's like, that does happen to people. There's people that on their deathbed at the very end, they wish they had done things differently. And they recognize what they've done to hurt people and hurt humanity or whatever it is. So I actually thought it was a really cool scene. To have him talking to Alyssa, regretting everything, and then also essentially adopting Grace. Which is another whole thing. Like, man, this game, there's so many reveals. But go ahead.
That video, I'm pretty sure, gives away. That's the point you realize that Grace is like, he says she's completely normal or something. That she's not like a clone like Emily and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, so Grace isn't a clone, which is something that I think a lot of people theorized. And then also throughout the game, you kind of are led to believe that she is a clone.
I mean, they look similar too. Like, she looks like.
And this is where some of those inconsistencies come in, where we're going to have to learn a little more. But apparently, so Grace is completely original. She's her own self. And then there's been a lot of debate online I've seen from people trying to decipher or determine if Emily and Marie are actually clones of Grace or not. Because the assumption is that they are, right? But apparently... Of Grace, like Emily is a clone of Grace, if that makes sense. A lot of people are theorizing that, but then there's inconsistencies with that though, because as we remember, when we play as Emily, it says 1990 is when that scene takes place, when you're playing as Emily with the creepy dolls. Or you're not playing as Emily, I think you're playing as Chloe, which is also another... Yeah,
you're playing as Chloe.
Which is also another clone, essentially, of
that's in the
Emily.
Other room or whatever.
Yeah. And so the problem is if Grace... Oh, no,
is that Marie?
I think it's Chloe, I'm pretty sure. But
no, because didn't people... I'm like a little confused, but Marie is the mama. Like
Marie's the girl, the monster,
But she was a kid like Emily, right?
Yes, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what people are saying.
Presumably,
so I think she was the one that was in the other cell or whatever. In the other...
Yes, yeah. And there was Marie, a little hole where you could see she dug
out. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
But then, Chloe...
So who's Chloe then?
I assume Chloe's also just another clone of them. Because remember, isn't there a shot in the game where it shows like a bunch of the Emily, like, of them discarded sort of thing? I could be wrong, but I swear, or like those doll type girls as well.
I mean, it shows the dolls. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is where it gets very confusing. And this game can be very confusing with some of its lore, but the running idea right
Resident
now,
Evil.
It's Resident Evil. It's part of it. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have to. I mean, that's why there's a bunch of them.
Exactly. I mean, when you get to 9 games with like freaking however many spin-offs, it's like, you're gonna have some crazy lore that's gonna get pretty wild at points. But I've seen people, the running theory is that Emily and Marie and stuff are not clones of Grace because they predate Grace. Because Grace presumably was born in the early 2000s. Because we don't know her exact age, but like presumably she's in early 20s, you'd assume, which would put her born in the early 2000s versus not the 90s, which is when that scene with Emily or Chloe or whatever takes place. So it wouldn't make sense if she's an original person and not a clone, then she couldn't be, like, Emily and them couldn't be clones of Grace, which is a little confusing considering they look very similar. Like, Emily kind of has the same hair and stuff as Grace, but...
I mean,
yeah.
I think that's intentional, too. They look very similar.
And maybe they're trying to just... it's a ruse. They're trying to throw us off the scent and make us think that they're clones of each other. Who knows? Either way, that's something that hasn't been officially determined yet. I know there's a lot of theories out there still. But I'm glad that Grace is kind of her own person. It's interesting that she's not the biological daughter of Alyssa. Even though it is still her mom, she's still going to be Grace Ashcroft, of course.
That's something we might find out in the future, though, which is cool. Like, we still don't know her biological parents.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something that will matter.
She was adopted by Spencer, obviously, so.
Yeah. I'm curious if that's something that will ever be revealed or if it's something that they just want to keep.
I mean,
like,
it's Resident Evil, right? It's got to.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I feel like at some point they're going to say biological dad is like Chris or something. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
Someone random.
I feel like if anything, it's going to be like a Rey Skywalker situation, or what Rey was supposed to be originally, where it's like, she was nobody. She was an orphan. But who knows? Maybe they connect her to, she's Wesker's daughter.
They don't know.
Something crazy. Who knows? But speaking of Wesker, I want to talk about this a little bit because we have the villain that we didn't know about, who wasn't shown in any of the marketing, which is Xeno, which for all intents and purposes, from what it seems like, is a clone of Wesker, which this was one of my favorite scenes in the game. Go ahead.
Wait, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say,
actually, I'm going to say
the scene where the gate opens and we see Xeno standing there smoking.
My gosh, it's so awesome.
It's so
He makes
dope.
smoking look so
dope.
cool. I know it's horrible, but he makes it look so sick.
Oh, always, yeah.
Like just standing out there with the sunset or whatever, or like the sun
with the sun
blasting and
setting or rising, whatever it was.
So
it looked so dope. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the game, with the music too. I literally, when I saw it, I was like, "Is that freaking Wesker? Is Wesker back?"
Well, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I was like, "Is he somehow back?"
Yeah,
but it's cool that he's just like
an imitation.
More Weskers, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what's cool. Imitation. You say that because at the end,
Gideon.
It's cool that Spencer's is like not Spencer.
Gideon.
Victor Gideon is saying like, "You're nothing but an imitation."
Yeah, you're a. What did he say? He's like, you're a poor imitation or something like that. Like. Which is cool. So that basically, to me, that essentially confirms in my head that he is like a clone, essentially, of Wesker. Which would make sense because there's obviously tons of cloning stuff in this game that's already talked about with Emily and whatnot. So it would make sense that the connections or a subsect of Umbrella, whatever it is, would clone Wesker at some point or another, because he literally has his abilities too, as we see. He does like the Matrix, like,
I mean, it's the same,
and then he got the sunglasses, he's got the slick back hair.
He acts like him too. He's like literally all cool and I don't know.
Also, I don't know if you saw it's the same voice actor of Wesker from Resident Evil 4 remake, so that's another thing where it's like, okay, then he's supposed to be Wesker. Which I think is cool. I think it's dope to bring him back. He did get his head sliced off at the end. However, my assumption is that the end credit scene of the two militaristic guys who are looking for something, they're like, "Oh, we've retrieved the asset," or whatever they say. I'm assuming it's Xeno's head or something like that.
Yeah, something of him. Yeah.
Something of him to bring him back, make him, part of the series again. Which will be
either
cool.
way, we know now that you can just make a clone. So
exactly.
Could be like they could just make another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Xeno is sick, so hopefully that. It's too bad that he just got his head chopped off like out of nowhere. That's
was
my
surprising.
One like slight thing. Like, why did they build him up just to like? You don't even fight him.
Yeah.
But like, I guess that was kind of the idea. Like, oh, he's meant to be built up to be this thing, and then
Well, and that's one thing we talked about as well too. Is it was surprising that for the second ending, or the bad ending, they didn't at least have you fight Xeno or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was weird because I thought for sure when I
think that'd be leaning too far into the bad ending, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
why.
And they didn't want to do that. But at the same time, it's like when I was fighting Victor in the good ending, I was like, oh, naturally I'm presuming that you fight Xeno then in the bad ending. So it was weird that wasn't the case. It is weird that there was no boss fight with Xeno whatsoever.
Well, and in the bad ending, you don't even see Victor. Like, literally, Xeno just drops, and Victor never comes out. So who knows?
Yeah, which is also another weird thing that it's like, that kind of means like in the bad ending.
The bad ending really fully doesn't make any sense.
No.
So that's why I'm glad that it's not canon.
Same.
It makes no sense, really.
Yeah, the canon ending we got, I'm extremely happy with. Loved it. And speaking of the ending, we got to talk about a couple things. So Leon obviously lives there with Grace. They're saved by the Hound Wolf Squad, I think is what they're called, which is Chris's squad from Resident Evil 8, which was dope. When they showed up and the music kicked in of their theme, I was like, oh, heck yeah. Because I actually think they're really cool. But they saved the day. Chris is name dropped a couple times, but not seen. And we get, Leon essentially saying like, oh, I'll run into him at some point or whatever, something like that. Which, do you think
that's totally setting up something?
That's what I was going to say. What do you think this is hinting at? Do you think it's maybe the next game, DLC, or is this going to be
I think it would be so awesome. Resident Evil 10, it's the big number. Resident Evil X, whatever.
Yeah.
Make the 2 Resident Evil guys as the main characters. I think it would be sick.
Yeah.
I don't actually think that it's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
Because it's not like... Just because, we've seen Chris in 8. Mm-hmm. We've seen him pretty recently. We've seen Leon just barely. So the chances of them doing them again is very slim. But if they did, I freaking love it.
I think it would be really cool. I think it's probably most likely Jill will be back for the 10th one. Just because she's been absent for so long. I know people are dying to see Jill. And Jill's awesome, so I'd be fine with it too. But I would say it would be sick, though. So my hope with this, I hope it's not just a throwaway line and that it never comes to fruition. I hope something does come from it, and I hope that it's either DLC for Requiem, where it's Leon and Chris, kind of maybe like even a co-op style thing. That could be dope.
We got to see them together at some point.
Yeah, in
some game or spin-off or DLC.
Well, with gameplay too. It's like, because we see them in 6 together briefly, but it's like, we want them together, like teaming up. That would be dope.
I think it would even be cool in 10 if all of them. It would be cool if we had Jill, Chris, and Leon.
They might. They're
and
really
Graves,
leaning into
every character. I guess people maybe don't want that because it would remind them of
6. Yeah, it would be like the jumping the shark, the Avengers kind of thing. Yeah. Which here's the thing.
It'd be cool.
I trust Capcom.
They can make it cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I trust Capcom completely right now. They are on such a roll. They are absolutely knocking it out of the park with every single Resident Evil release, to the point of they can do whatever and I'll trust them. If they want to do something that is like the big Avengers come together Resident Evil moment for 10, I'm all for it because they've shown they know what they're doing right now. If they want to do something more subdued and kind of go back and have it be more of a horror with Grace, and then do kind of what they did with Requiem, have horror Grace stuff, and then maybe Ada Wong action side of it or something, I don't know. Totally cool with that too. I'm good with whatever they decide on because they've proven that they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Nothing but hits.
Nothing. Yeah. All hits.
When did
and then
when did 7 come out?
2017. Yeah, 17? Ever since 2017, they've been on an absolute generational run. And we got to show a lot of love to 7 for bringing back the franchise in the way it did, because man, it was looking dire for a while there, and man, it's just on an absolute
apparently
tear.
It's the have you seen the the user reviews? It has the highest user reviews or something of all time.
Requiem. Yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome. It's crazy because honestly, Resident Evil might be bigger than it's ever been right now, which is wild to say.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I I wanted to mention at the very end, this is something that's recently come up as the game's been out, but people have noticed an odd thing when Leon goes to say bye to Grace or whatever he's telling, like, we can save Emily or something like that. He walks away and he kind of oddly disposes of his gloves, which, you know, you could take as like, oh yeah, he's taking them off because he no longer has the Raccoon City syndrome or whatever, so he's like, oh, whatever. But he reaches into his back pocket, and eagle-eyed people have noticed he puts on a ring. And there's also a ring he's wearing in the concept art of the game. If you go into the unlockables and unlock the one of Leon, it shows his hand, one with the infection, and then one without, and the one without has a wedding ring on. Presumably a wedding ring. You know, it could just be a ring, but it's weird that it would be on his wedding finger.
On his ring finger, yeah.
On his ring finger. But
he's married to someone.
Yeah, so this implies that Leon is married to someone. The big question is who? Is it Ada? Or is it Claire? Is it like
Ada?
There's a lot of options,
Claire,
but it's like
no.
Yeah. I think Ada is who I think makes the most sense for Leon, but at the same time we were talking about it and it's like Ada doesn't really seem like the settling down type of woman, you know. I mean,
that's who she is. That's what they've made it to be. Like,
yeah.
But Claire, on the other hand, is that type of person. I feel like she's totally like, I'm gonna settle down with Leon.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it would be cool because then it'd be Leon and Chris are brother-in-laws, which would also be a cool little thing. But we don't know.
There's also
obviously,
no tension between them.
Yeah, there's no tension.
Have
That's
we
the
seen
thing.
Any tension?
There's
tension between Ada and Leon. Doesn't he say he's like something?
Well, he says to Ashley
for someone.
At the end of 4, he says to Ashley, he's like, yeah, she's a part of me I can't let go, or something like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, obviously for years now, decades, honestly, everyone has been, you know, Leon, Ada, they have the tension, there's something there. But it is one of those things I think where 4 kind of put into perspective that Ada is kind of like, Leon just doesn't trust her anymore, which you can't blame him. I mean, she's a wild card. So I don't know exactly what direction they'll go with that, and I don't know if they'll even ever actually reveal it. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some sort of hints at it, but I guess that'll be something we'll see potentially in the future. But maybe we'll have husband and wife Leon and Ada, or husband and wife Leon and Claire, or something like that. I don't know. Be interesting. I think those are the 2 most likely options, though.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk, Parker, about just the game overall, what we kind of thought, kind of going from some of our favorite stuff from the beginning. But I loved the atmosphere of this game. The Rhodes Hill Chronic Center, I think is what it's called, or Care Center.
Care Center
is amazing. We were talking about it, and I think it's top tier Resident Evil location for me. I think it's like up there with the very best.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, it's got that layout. It's got that same layout as RPD. I mean, it's literally like the middle section and then the 2 sides. It's a perfect layout.
Got the layout, got the ambiance.
In the center.
Yep. We got the save room in the middle, which is something I want to talk about in a second. But yeah, just the classic Resident Evil style of, you know, the puzzle box, as people put it. You're running around. It's very Metroidvania. You get this key to unlock this area, and you go back and you find this cube that then goes in this door, and classic Resident Evil stuff. Absolutely loved that part of the game, that level design. And then going back and forth between Grace and Leon worked out super well, actually. Way better than I thought it would.
Really good.
We were talking about how it's a little funny because we were worried at first because it seemed like Leon's sections were sprinkled in there for like 10 minutes apiece.
Sidelined or whatever you call it. Like,
well, because the first half of the game really feels like...
I mean, I guess...
it's majority Grace.
He is ultimately still, I think, technically a side character. I mean, Grace is the main character of RE9, I would say.
Yeah,
I mean, it's close.
I mean, it's a cooperative thing, but yeah, I would say Grace is the headliner.
Yeah, but I was worried that Grace was going to be... I was worried it was going to be that way the whole game. Like, where it's just little 10-minute sections of Leon and then 2 hours
the major
of Grace,
sections of Grace.
10-minute to...
Yeah,
which luckily, halfway through, we realized that the whole Raccoon City RPD insane section with Leon.
They
I
essentially,
think there's less time overall, but
yeah, they essentially pull like almost like a Last of Us Part 2 kind of thing where you then take over as Leon and you're Leon for an extended amount of time in Raccoon City.
you didn't even see Grace.
Yeah, we don't see Grace for a long time. Which I really liked this section. I know this section's a little more controversial amongst people from what I've heard, but I think the open world-ish, open zone, I guess is a better way to put it, works really well for this. It reminded me a lot of Evil Within 2, which we both love. We talked about that. And then also even Last of Us Part 2 with the Seattle area. I think it lent itself really well to the Resident Evil formula. I'm not saying that...
Why do people not like it?
I think some people are just purists with Resident Evil and they want kind of the more traditional puzzle box, like mansion style stuff, which we got. That's the thing, is like we got both. We got the best of both worlds. So I think for me, it was like I was here for it. I enjoyed it. I would love to see more of that actually in the future. But yeah, I think for some people it was just maybe they wanted more of the traditional Resident Evil kind of setup, which is fair. I can understand that too. But I liked that we kind of got the greatest hits. That's kind of the way I was putting this game for myself, is it's like, this is the greatest hits of Resident Evil. You know, you get everything you could love about it. You get the amazing locations like in RE2, RE1, with the puzzle box elements. You get the sprawling action set pieces from like Resident Evil 4 and even 5 and 6 to an extent. You get the awesome enemies and varieties and like iconic bosses like in RE3 with Nemesis and stuff like that, or you get the super scary moments of like stalker enemies in RE7 and Village, of course. It's like, I just think you kind of get the best of everything in this game. It felt like a greatest hits of Resident Evil, which I loved.
I really hope they stick to that, honestly, like for the next... I mean, I like half horror, half... I mean, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil, well, for me, 8, like, are two of my favorites.
Same.
So combining them, or I guess 7 too, but combining 4 and 7 and 8 all together into one game, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think they absolutely nailed it with this one, and I'm totally down to, like I said, I trust Capcom implicitly. Like, they can do whatever they want. If they want to keep this formula and do this again, I'm here for it. If they want to mix it up and do something different, I'm here for that too, because they've shown time and time again, it's like Resident Evil is a franchise that can reinvent itself. You know, we had the original ones with the fixed camera, 1 through 3, even Code Veronica and stuff like that, but then and 0, of course. But then we go to 4, which brings in the over-the-shoulder third-person action with horror elements still, of course. But then we got 5 and 6, a little more action-heavy. Then we go stark contrast to first-person complete horror with 7. Then we go 8, which is like a combination of 7 and 4. Yeah, and then this one's kind of like the best of all of it. So Resident Evil's classic at reinventing itself, and they always seem to make it work to an extent.
For sure, they've done different with every game, so
yeah,
if they do different with the next game, I trust it. Like,
yeah, I know there's a lot of people.
This could be something totally different. They could go back to fixed camera.
Yeah,
probably make it awesome.
They might make, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that with a spin-off at some point. I don't think they'll do it with a mainline one again as the main focus anyway. Maybe as like a toggle you can turn on fixed camera.
Well, just because I mean, it's outdated. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
I mean, obviously there's still like indie games and stuff that do that, but
yep.
The new thing is over the shoulder or first person.
Well, and that's exactly. That's more mainstream. That's what's going to sell better, of course, as well.
Yeah.
As much as the fixed camera is cool and stuff like that, I wouldn't be opposed to a side project doing that. I think that'd be cool, or like a DLC mode. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever go back to that as the main method. But yeah, so I'm totally down wherever they take it next. Personally, like, I'd be fine. One thing with this that I would like to see again is it was fun going back and forth, of course, between Grace and Leon, but I do miss the item management of like RE4, where you have the one case and you're Leon the whole time, so you kind of get to upgrade the guns and you know it's going to last with you that whole time. Whereas with this, you know, it's kind of like you're going back and forth, and so you're like, oh, like by the time I was Grace
and at
again,
one point you
after Raccoon
lose
City, I was like,
everything as Grace.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
once you were Grace again after Raccoon City, I was kind of like, oh frick, I forgot I
lose the
had
Requiem
these
and
like
stuff, so.
injectors and stuff like that. Like I totally forgot what was in my inventory, you know.
Yeah.
But it still works. I'm not complaining about it. But let's talk about Raccoon City a little bit, because this was also one of my favorite sections in the game, especially when you hit the RPD, the freaking music cues. Oh my gosh, dude, so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Super emotional too. Like as soon as you walk in there and the flashbacks that Leon gets with the music and just the look. Oh, it's just so good.
That
like.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that those chords hitting are like,
and it's showing that flashback of the cop. Like,
yeah, it was
one of his first experiences with someone. Like, was it the cop dying or?
Yeah,
I can't remember what the flashback was.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then also just like various little shots from his when he was in RPD, which is cool. And we also get the welcome Leon like sign on the stuff, and then it was cool finding like other puzzles, or not puzzles, but like a locker you didn't open in 2. Now you can open because you found the key that Barry left and stuff like that. Seeing all the references from the Stars members as well, like Jill, Rebecca, and Wesker and stuff like that. Super cool. Tons of Easter eggs in this part. This part is chock full of so many great Easter eggs. Recommend finding a video about that because there's too many to go through now. But like even Tofu. Did you see that? Did you see that Tofu's there?
Tofu.
Yeah, that weird in Resident Evil 2, there's like a side mode where you play as a tofu guy. It's super random, but like there's a reference to him, like you can see him in the background at the RPD. It's so goofy, but I highly recommend checking out like an Easter egg video for this section because there's so much to love. But like for me, I just enjoyed the atmosphere and the ambiance, hearing the music cues, and like honestly I was getting kind of like goosebumps and like almost like emotional in a weird way when it, like the piano part would come in, like the I'm doing it terribly right now, but like,
well, I mean I said it again, but like the remake was recent, but that's obviously a remake. The last time we saw Leon at RPD
30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, 1998.
Wait, oh my gosh, yeah. No,
yeah, almost
98 or...
It was 98 for 2.
Still,
the first one was
almost
96,
30 years. That's
almost
crazy.
30 years.
28 years, and he's finally back at RPD.
Yeah.
Which, so.
Yeah, it was awesome seeing the RPD again. I loved this section. And then the big reveal, which is that Xeno brings in freaking Mr. X, which I did not see this coming
so hyped
at all.
Me neither. I did not.
This blew my mind.
As soon as he drops, though, my freaking, like, I'm getting so scared because I'm like,
oh my
are we going to have to do this again?
Yep.
I want to bring this up, but, you know, freaking, what's his face? The YouTuber guy that we were talking about.
Oh, Moist Critical?
No.
Oh, Markiplier.
The one who platinums.
Oh, yeah.
Rob something.
I am Rob,
but
or something.
Yeah, he like played Resident Evil 2 when he platinumed it, and he hated Mr. X so much.
Yeah,
like he despised Mr. X. As soon as he dropped, I was watching his playthrough of 9. As soon as Mr. X dropped down, he's like, I'm not. He got up from his chair and walked away for like 10 minutes. I'm not even joking. He's like, I'm not doing this again. I mean, he was worried that Mr. X was going to chase him through RPD again. That's what I thought.
The same fear.
I thought we were going to have to run around RPD. I mean, we did a little bit.
We did a little bit, but I'm glad it wasn't that way.
Not like where you have to go do side quests while he's chasing you.
Yeah, but no, literally, I got like as soon as he dropped, I started clapping because I was so excited. I was like, that's freaking awesome. Dope. Yeah. But then literally it set in that I'm like, oh no.
You're like,
I'm going to have to actually
do this again.
Run from this guy and hide from, oh shoot, no. And then he starts chasing you and I'm like, oh frick, here we go. I'm going to have to, I thought like you, I was going to have to run around the RPD, find some puzzles while he's pursuing me. Ultimately that doesn't happen, which I think was the right decision because that's Warren territory, right? We've done that before. But we get an awesome boss fight with him, which...
I like that it was similar to his first boss fight, his original one.
Yeah.
He gets the arm and stuff, and he does the same moves. Did you notice that? Like,
yeah, he did like the charge and stuff.
The floor, yeah.
Which I loved this boss fight actually because I think it was great symbolism in a way, or not symbolism, but like the growth of Leon because, you know, when he first fights him in RE2, he's a rookie. You know, he's not as like confident, he's not as trained, but it was awesome to fight him like almost fist to fist in Requiem, where it's like he runs up to you and Leon is like parrying his stuff with his hatchet. You know, he's doing this. He's getting up close and personal, like stabbing him.
What does he say again? As soon as he like turns into the monster, Leon says this awesome one-liner. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, classic Leon. I mean, he had so many good one-liners from Leon.
There's so many good one-liners. So
yeah,
good.
I can't even think of all of them right now. But man, yeah, I mean, of course, the one from the trailer, like I want a second opinion or something to the doctor. It's like so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome boss fight with Mr. X. Cool to have him back out, and you know, Leon disposes of him pretty quickly, so it didn't last too long. There's also the plant section where you're making your way down to Ark, which when you get into Ark, I actually thought that was awesome. The whole Ark section I really liked with the liquors and stuff. You mentioned a little earlier, but let's talk about it. From what it seems like we fight Hunk in this game as Leon, which is freaking dope. I did not see that coming whatsoever. Awesome. And I know there's like a lot of debate out there if it actually is Hunk or not, because it doesn't say. The game doesn't explicitly say.
It has to be.
It has to be.
There's
That's
no
how I
way.
feel.
Why would he look like Hunk and then also say, we finally meet? As in, like, come on, like, it has to be him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the way they talk to each other too, yeah, like, Hunk's like, oh, we finally meet the legendary Leon Kennedy.
I wrote this down, but he says it's so funny because he's like, the one-liner that Leon says, he's like, I didn't know I had such a big fan.
Yeah.
Want an autograph or something?
Yeah, you want an autograph? Awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so good. And then when Leon kills him even too, he's like, Sherry calls him and he's like, Leon's like, yeah, he was one tough bastard or something like that, which is like, so clearly this guy is somebody important. He's not just some random thug.
It has to be, yeah.
And so, or some random henchman. Like he has some sort of importance. And my headcanon is that it's Hunk, which I think is dope. And also the whole thing.
I mean,
Hunk,
I don't know why they would do that if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, like, why would they make it seem like it's someone when it's just some
exactly? And it was like this big reveal. Like when he comes out, it's like, no, I'll take him myself. It's such an awesome little
fight. Like, it's so sick. And the fog, with the red and everything.
Gave me a lot of Krauser vibes when you fight Krauser in RE4.
Oh, totally.
With the knife.
I love how if you want it to be, it's like a complete axe fight too.
Yeah.
And you get his axe afterwards after you kill him, which is sick.
Yep. Which I think the axe he has is also called like the ghost something, which is literally what they call Hunk in some of the previous games. They call him like the something ghost. I can't remember because he never dies and he always like lives or something like that. Cool. But I'm like, okay, so like there's a ton of references to make it seem like it's Hunk.
Yeah.
So that's my headcanon, but anyway, that part's awesome. I want to talk about real quick one of my favorite sections, which is the motorcycle fight with Leon and Gideon.
It's awesome.
This scene is
as soon as it said that there was a motorcycle there was a little file or something that you could find, and it said like there's a motorcycle or something in one of the crates or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a motorcycle? That's
here we go.
What does that even mean? That means Leon's riding the motorcycle.
Yep.
So sick.
And that part was freaking dope. Like that was straight out of Mission Impossible or Fast and the Furious or something like that. And yes, it's goofy. Yes, it's over the top, but that's what made it so memorable and awesome to me. And it's also very fitting for Leon.
It's Leon.
It's Leon.
Yeah, like
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
he has to do that.
Gideon doesn't actually die in the scene as we saw. There was a minute where it was like, oh, did Gideon just die randomly falling off the freeway?
I knew he wasn't dead. No
yeah,
way.
There was no way.
That was way too simple.
Yeah, and so I'm glad we have the boss fight with him at the end, fight him again. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there what other major things out there that you can think of that you want to talk about?
I have a whole note. Let's see.
I'll bring this up real quick. Some of the zombies all having personalities and doing what they used to do was awesome. The opera singers were horrifying. Them screaming at the top of their lungs.
The big like chef guy too.
Yeah, the big chef guy. Loved the parlor room, like the gambling room where you get the extra pouch and stuff like that using the coins. That was one of my favorite rooms in the game.
When Leon at the end is like, I actually thought that they might, even with the release Elpis ending, I actually thought that they might kill Leon and Grace, both of them.
Oh,
because remember they're like,
yeah, they're both
Leon
sitting there.
sits down with her, and he's like, "I'm gonna sit right here with you" or something.
Yeah, the whole time.
And I was like, "Is this how they're gonna kill?" I mean, I guess it was just too simple, but
yeah, no, I was worried
crazy.
about that too. I mean, there were so many parts where, like I said, one thing I want to touch on is that I think this is by far the most cinematic, emotional Resident Evil there's been, in terms of like storytelling and stuff like that. Like, man, there was actually some really good emotional parts, like the part where Leon's like, you're getting sick and you have to fight with the the Raccoon City syndrome like affecting him, and then when he is like in that big yellow room and he's walking up the steps, like, oh, it was so cool. But like,
I gotta say, I think it's like literally the most emotional Resident Evil,
for sure.
Actually,
I think so. I don't
like any of the other ones.
I mean, maybe
it's not really as emotional of parts.
You could make the argument for maybe Village with like Ethan and Rose and stuff like that is pretty emotional, like at the end. But yeah, I do think that this one though, in terms of like just the nostalgia hitting as well with the story and everything, because like we said, Leon is just a legendary legacy character, and so it kind of makes a big difference versus like Ethan, who I like Ethan, but you know, he had only been in 2 games. But yeah, it's for me, like story wise, I think it's by far like the deepest there's been.
Yeah. Leon being cured, like when Grace stabs him with the antiviral or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that was like the biggest relief I've ever felt in my life. As soon as he gets stabbed, I'm like,
thank goodness.
And you see his hand and it starts to heal. And you're like, oh, okay, he's healed from this thing that he's been literally struggling with the whole game. I'm like, thank goodness.
And you knew at that point too, like, okay, they're not gonna kill him.
He's probably good. Yeah, they're not gonna cure him.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
they cure him and then he gets killed. It's just like, what the frick?
he gets shot in the head.
Yeah,
like...
yeah, exactly. One thing I wanted to touch on with you real quick is the save room, because we didn't get to talk about that, but we only have a couple like real traditional save rooms, one of them being in the Rhodes Hill Care Center, which that's my favorite one. Obviously, it's the main one in the hall. And you know, I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil save room music. What did you think of the save room theme in this one?
I mean, like I've said, it's just very faded off, but like when you do hear it, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome save room music, but it's just so hard to hear. I don't know what it is.
It's subdued.
I wish it was louder. Yeah, I wish it was louder, but I mean,
it's very reminiscent of the RE7 save room theme. Yeah, and so I like it. I do really like it. It's actually grown on me the more I've listened to it, especially separately outside the game. Listening to it, it's made me be able to hear it more, and I actually really like it now. But yeah, when I first played it, I was kind of like, oh, it's very subdued. You can't really hear it. But I still did like that safe room and having the typewriter and stuff. That was one. I mean, tiny... that go ahead.
Save room is one of the best save rooms, like that. The one in the care center.
Yeah,
the first
it's so
one.
Good.
Or like the first main one, I guess.
I mean, honestly, that's
a great save room.
Kind of the only like real traditional save room there is, I think, in the game. I mean, there's a couple like in the Rhodes Hill area, but like there's not a ton. And that was, you know, one of my nitpicks later on in the game with Leon is that, you know, he has the BSAA leftover stuff for upgrading and stuff like that, and he saves on just like a computer, like a laptop computer kind of thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of that just because I love the typewriter, I love the save room music, and kind of we were talking about
you got it. The typewriter and RPD, you have to let him save on that.
Hey, he's like, oh,
you go to it and you're like, that's too old. Yeah, okay, buddy. Grace just used a typewriter in the care center or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care if you're in the future. You could use a typewriter to save. It's not realistic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about. It's like I think they tried to lean a little too more realistic with the Raccoon City area being like, oh, there wouldn't be typewriters here. But it's like, bro, there wouldn't be typewriters hardly anywhere. Like most people don't have typewriters. It's like it doesn't matter.
Put a typewriter in the middle of the thing. Who cares?
Yeah, we're willing to suspend our disbelief. Like you can put a typewriter anywhere and it's fine. We get that that's just part of Resident Evil. You know what I mean?
It's part of Resident Evil, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's what we like. We want the music. We want the safe room kind of thing. So I was a little disappointed with that with the Leon section, but I was glad there was at least an upgrade system of some sorts, kind of like a merchant. Would have been cool to have a real merchant rather than just the digital system, but oh well, just a nitpick, not like anything major. The chainsaw duel was freaking dope. in the gas station.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you do that? Where it's
That was
like
awesome.
chainsaw on chainsaw action.
Oh yes, yeah, that was sick.
That was dope.
And then you're like dueling with it. Yeah, what do you call it when you like go across the chainsaw?
yeah. I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah, duel.
I don't know what the word is, but
like
yeah,
the blades
like
cross.
The two chainsaws hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
blades cross or whatever.
That was
That's
dope.
so dope.
A lot of cool sections in the Raccoon City area, honestly, too, because one of my favorite sections was being on the fallen over skyscraper, shooting out the windows underneath
that was awesome.
zombies. I've never played anything like that. I thought that was totally unique.
Super cool.
Loved that. Sniping as Leon when Grace is down at the church. That was cool.
That was cool.
And also, Leon has a great moment there where he slides off the roof, lands on a zombie's head, and squishes it, and says, "Excuse me."
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, it's so cool.
Like, classic Leon there.
I love it.
So good. Excuse me. Oh, and then he says, I was telling you one of my favorite lines is when he's sniping up there and all the zombies are heading to the church to get Grace. He's like, huh.
Oh, yeah.
It must be a Sunday mass or something like that.
Yeah, something like
That's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's like Sunday school or something.
That's totally like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Where's everybody going?
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Chris always shows up.
Chris
when
always seems to
everything is
show up.
over.
Yeah, right at the
Course.
end.
And right as they finish the boss fight, literally, like it's over.
Yep.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, here you go.
He's like, I'm here.
I'll come
by the way."
save you." Even though like he has the Requiem, he could have just blown a hole through the wall.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I almost wonder if Chris didn't show up at the end of this, like in person, because they didn't want to add to his count of how many games he's been in.
Maybe, yeah.
Because literally he shows up.
Totally see that.
Yeah, he shows
Well,
up. At the
I thought
end
that
of
was Chris.
7.
I was like,
Yeah,
I think everyone thought that was Chris. As soon as he
Yeah.
drops down and he's like, Leon S. Kennedy, it sounds like Chris too.
Totally.
He's like, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, they're safe or something.
Yeah, they just name
Chris
drop him.
Redfield or Captain Redfield has a message for you.
Yeah. So they name drop him, but he's not technically in the game, so he doesn't
not there,
get
yeah.
another credit on his resume of how many games he's been in for Resident Evil. But
Just another small thing. It's cool how Emily is not blind anymore
yeah,
because of the antiviral. Did
Yep.
you see the picture? I didn't realize this
On the end
before,
credit.
but the picture.
yeah, on
Yeah.
the main menu.
Oh, yeah, on the end credit. Oh, it's on the main menu.
Well,
too.
and the main menu. I don't know if you noticed when you beat the game, the main menu changes because now it shows Grace's desk.
I did notice that, and
like
it plays
the end.
like that
The theme.
awesome music.
the end credit
Yes.
song, which is dope. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
But anyways, her
end credit scene.
photo is with
song.
Grace and her, which is another building Grace up. which is
Yeah, I assume maybe
That's
we'll
like
get Emily
kind of a
again in the
mom type
future
thing.
too, which is cool.
Yeah, totally.
You mentioned it, and I can't believe we haven't talked about it. I have to say it real quick. The frickin' Requiem.
No, Ada.
No,
Oh.
the Requiem. Like, holy
the
crap.
Requiem.
One of my favorite
Oh.
guns in Resident Evil now of all time, which is crazy.
So good.
Yeah, like
I love how it's just like you get a couple bullets for it, but
Yep.
those bullets count. Like
they're
they are-
so precious,
yeah.
and it's awesome. Like,
And I used one as Grace. The first bullet that I got, I used it on the chef, and he didn't die.
I
was
know,
like,
I did
what
too.
do I do now?
I ended up if you put I think 2 into him, I think he does die, 2 or 3. But
Probably, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm freaking taking out this chef guy. I need to get rid of him, and I
Well,
used the
because
Requiem.
they say like, "Oh, use this wisely on something," and then I'm like,
Yep.
"Okay, I'm gonna use it on the chef because he's this huge guy," and then
Yeah.
does nothing. But whatever.
Yeah, it's so good. And then, yeah, you mentioned Ada. Very strange that she wasn't in this game or even name dropped at all. Claire as well. I found odd that neither of them were referenced in this game. But
Yeah.
but it's okay. I mean, it was kind of Leon's and Grace's story, and so they put the focus on them, and I think that probably helped the story overall because it really made it emotional with them.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
yeah,
I was gonna say one last thing though.
Yeah.
I love how Spencer says the title of the game in the video. He's like,
a
I hope
requiem.
it serves as a requiem for
Yep.
those who have passed.
Mhm.
I think it's so sick. I don't know. It's just so
That is
like,
cool.
oh.
That whole
I,
scene, yeah.
I actually thought after he said that, I was like, Leon's dying. Because
Yeah.
why would he say I don't know.
I thought the
I
same
just was
thing.
thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
A requiem for those who have passed. Oh, Leon's
I know, I was
gonna
like, no,
pass, and
don't
we're
do
gonna have
it."
a requiem.
Don't do it, please. I know. I thought the same thing. Those I really like.
Once again, it was a perfect name for a game and everything to kill Leon, and they
Yeah.
didn't do it. Thank goodness. But
Yeah, that's actually a good point to bring up too. The name Resident Evil Requiem it flows so well, works great for this game. And the meaning behind it. I loved the trophy when you beat the game too, is Hope and Requiem.
Hope and Requiem.
So good. Such a great payoff to, you know, the meaning of what Requiem is, you know, like a mass for the dead and stuff like that. And then having it be Hope, though, with that. It was actually beautiful. I actually thought they did a great job with that. Yeah, end credit song was great. What?
Or 9.5. In the 9s.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Close to a 10 for me.
That's where I'm sitting too. Yeah, I think, like, I mean, for me, it's like I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, so it's like if I was
can't really rank them, but
yeah, if I was being biased, like having my biased Resident Evil opinion, I'd be like, it's a 10 out of 10 because I freaking loved it. But you know, if I'm being critical, if I'm trying to be
if you're comparing to other Resident Evils, it's hard to put every Resident Evil at. You can't really put them all at 10.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Can,
it's like I could for myself, but if I'm trying to look at it from a critical perspective,
I think they're all at 10. But yeah, like
if I'm trying to actually use my critic brain or whatever, and you know, take off some points for certain critical things, I'd probably settle like a 9.5. But yeah, I freaking loved it.
Which is still incredible.
Still, I mean,
really good.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah,
it's honestly sitting, I don't know, it's either my second or third favorite Resident Evil behind 4, and then it's a toss up between Requiem and Village for me at 2.
Everyone's loving it.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Yeah, and what'd you say? Where would you put it, ranking wise, if you had to?
I don't know where I'd put it. I can't rank them, but
it's hard.
Yeah, 2, 4, 8, and this one are interchangeable for me. They're all so good.
They're so good. Yeah, that's my top 4 as
3,
well.
Even 3 and 7 and 5 is fun, and 6. They're all so good.
They're all great.
And 1, I've been playing the 1 remake. It's super good. Awesome vibe.
Yeah, I'm glad
you can't rank them. I can't rank them.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm glad you're playing through the original now too, because they're so good. They all.
But just because of recency bias, this might be my favorite.
Right, I know. Exactly. Recency bias wise, I'm like, this is probably my number 2 behind 4. But it's like I have to let it marinate. I have to sit on it for a while, kind of collect my thoughts.
That's what I said when I beat Village. Village was my number 1.
Exactly, because we're really high on it right now.
Oh, well,
we just beat it a couple days ago, so it's like, of course, it's going to be fresh on our brains. But yeah, no, I love this game. Highly recommend it to anyone out there, Resident Evil fan or not. Even if you're not a Resident Evil fan, I think this is a great entry point into the series. Yeah, got our deluxe edition.
Give them their $70 that they deserve. I don't care what anybody says. It's worth $70. I don't care if it's an 8-hour game.
I actually think the deluxe edition value that 90 though too.
Oh, well, this is 90.
But yeah,
the normal game is 70.
Yeah, if you want more games like this, which it seems like most people do, because it's getting very positive reception everywhere. Any final thoughts, Parker, on Resident Evil Requiem?
Great game.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot more. I'm gonna probably do a lot of Resident Evil videos coming up here soon. In fact, videos coming up, Parker will be on. I'll be doing a first time playing Resident Evil 4 2 interview videos with Parker and my other brother Tanner, because they played through.
I played them first.
Yeah, Parker played them first last year, and then Tanner just recently played them this last month. So both of them are now fully in the Resident Evil series, which I love because I've been a super fan of this franchise for like 20 years now, like most of my life. So yeah, but if you want more Resident Evil videos, stay tuned on this channel, and check out my Connor Hall Films channel, where I am going to be talking about all the live action Resident Evil movies, which are not as good, but it's fun to talk about them. So thank you guys for joining us. Parker, thanks for joining me on this spoiler cast, and let us know what you thought of the game below, and we'll see you guys next time.